Have you ever looked at your paycheck and thought, on paper, I should be doing fine? So why does it still feel like I'm stuck? You make decent money, not billionaire money, but solid income. Bills are paid. You're not starving. You're not drowning either. And yet, year after year, nothing really changes. No real savings, no real investments, no sense of progress. Just the same routine, the same stress, the same feeling that you're running on a treadmill that never speeds up, but also never stops. And what makes this even more frustrating is that middle-class people do everything they're told to do. They go to school, they get a degree, they get a stable job, they work hard, they follow the rules. So why do so many of them still never get rich? Not Instagram rich, not fake rich. I'm talking about actual wealth, savings, investments, freedom. The answer isn't what most people think. It's not laziness, it's not lack of intelligence, and surprisingly, it's not even low income. The real reason middle-class people stay stuck is much quieter, much more subtle, and much more dangerous. If you want to understand money beyond basic advice and actually figure out why progress feels so slow, make sure to subscribe. And if this video hits a little too close to home, you'll know why by the end. Let's start with a hard truth. The middle class doesn't have an income problem. They have a behavior problem. Middle class income is high enough to feel safe, but not high enough to absorb bad decisions. That's the danger zone. When you're broke, you know it. When you're rich, mistakes don't matter. But when you're in the middle, every small decision compounds. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. Here's how it usually plays out. You get a raise. Not a huge one, but noticeable. Maybe an extra $500 a month after taxes. And instead of that money building wealth, it disappears. Not all at once. Not on something dramatic. It leaks out. A nicer apartment. A slightly newer car. More eating out. More subscriptions. More convenience. Nothing crazy. Nothing irresponsible. Just normal. And that's the trap. Because middle-class people don't make bad financial decisions. They make normal ones. Lifestyle inflation is the silent killer. Every time income goes up, lifestyle quietly follows. Not because people are greedy, but because they're tired. Tired of sacrificing. Tired of waiting. Tired of feeling like they deserve better, but never allowing themselves to enjoy it. So when the money comes, they upgrade. And once something becomes your new normal, it stops feeling like a luxury. That nicer car payment? Just a bill now. That expensive phone? Just part of life. That food delivery habit? Just convenience. The problem is, wealth is built on money you don't feel, money you don't see, money you don't touch, and middle-class people structure their lives, so there's almost none of that left. Let's talk about the biggest lie middle-class people believe. If I just earn more, everything will be fine. It sounds logical. It feels true. But it's wrong, because if higher income automatically created wealth, then high earners wouldn't be broke. And yet, some of the most financially stressed people you'll ever meet make six figures. Why? Because spending scales faster than discipline. Middle-class spending is optimized for comfort, not freedom. Housing is the biggest example. Middle-class people don't buy the cheapest place they can live. They buy the nicest place they can justify. Close to work, safe area, good amenities. Nothing outrageous, just comfortable. But housing doesn't just cost rent or a mortgage. It sets the baseline for everything else. Utilities go up, furniture gets nicer, maintenance gets pricier, and suddenly, half your income is locked into survival at a higher level. You're not poor, but you're not free either. Then comes the car. Middle-class people don't buy cars for transportation. They buy cars for identity, reliable, respectable, new enough to signal success. And they finance them. 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, a monthly payment that feels manageable but quietly destroys flexibility. That payment shows up whether you like your job or not, whether the economy is good or not, whether you want to take risks or not. And just like that, your future options shrink. This is where the psychology shifts. Middle-class people aren't scared of debt. They're trained to see it as normal. Student loans, car loans, credit cards, furniture financing, all responsible, all manageable, until one unexpected expense hits. Then another, and suddenly there's no room to breathe. Here's the most important difference between rich behavior and middle-class behavior. Rich people optimize for optionality. Middle-class people optimize for comfort. Optionality means cash reserves, low fixed expenses, flexibility, the ability to walk away. And comfort means predictable routines, stable bills, familiar habits. Comfort feels good now, optionality pays off later. And most people choose now. Another reason middle-class people don't get rich? They confuse being busy with making progress. They're always doing something, working, upgrading, managing bills, planning the next purchase, but activity isn't the same as direction. If your money isn't intentionally flowing somewhere, it's flowing away. Saving feels pointless to the middle class. Why? Because progress feels slow. Saving $300 a month doesn't feel life-changing. Investing $500 doesn't feel powerful. So motivation dies. But this is exactly why wealth never shows up. Wealth is boring in the beginning, invisible, unrewarding, until it isn't. And most people quit before that point. There's also a massive mindset issue no one talks about. Middle-class people fear looking cheap. They don't want to downsize. They don't want to say no. They don't want to look like they're struggling. So they spend to protect their image. Meanwhile, rich people are perfectly fine looking boring. Old cars, simple clothes, unimpressive lifestyles, because they're not trying to prove anything. And here's the harshest truth of all. The middle class is taught to avoid risk, but takes the worst kind of risk anyway. They avoid entrepreneurial risk. They avoid income risk. They avoid career risk. But they fully accept inflation risk, job dependency risk, debt risk, lifestyle lock-in risk, which is far more dangerous. So why do middle-class people never get rich? Because they spend first, save later, optimize for comfort over flexibility, normalize debt, fear looking behind, depend entirely on income, avoid discomfort in the present, and wealth requires the opposite. The uncomfortable conclusion? You can't live a middle-class lifestyle and expect rich-class outcomes. Something has to give. Either your spending habits change, or your financial future stays average. There is no third option. This isn't about living like a monk. It's about being intentional, spending on things that actually matter to you, cutting the rest without guilt. Because here's the trade-off no one spells out clearly. You can look successful, or you can become successful. But for most people, you can't do both at the same time. If this video made you uncomfortable, that's a good thing. Discomfort is usually the first sign that something important just clicked. And if you want more videos breaking down money the way it actually works, not the way it's advertised, you know what to do.